This is the Green Acres expedition where we're going to be working on the 48N, get it going so that we can hook up this brush hog, chop the fields down. So the sun just went down, mosquitoes are out immediately, and you can see how the fog settles in over the swampy area. It really looks cool.
You can see we got a brand new water pump on there.
And the water pump sits on a little flange. And they didn't give you an extra 1/8 of an inch. So you had to take everything off, move the radiator forward so you could get it off.
It wasn't really designed to work on, I don't think. We did have to slide these boots up onto that cap a little bit better. But we'll see if we can get this generator on it now.
It's just a real dorky way to make the adjustment to tighten the belt up. So I'm putting these up here.
I wiped her down before the generator guy had to test it.
Alright, hood's going back on. The alternator's been tightened so the belt will be tight and turn the water pump and the generator. And then the hood has to go on just right. That's hard. Sure.
Yeah.
So then everything lines up, and then you can bolt it up in the front here. And then we'll hitch up the fuel line, put gas in it. Hopefully she'll fire up.
So we gotta get this out of the way and we'll try this right away. Put some fuel on there. Cold start on the John Deere. Alright, we're gonna try to start this. I don't think this tractor's running maybe like 3 or 4 years or something.
Right.
Or is it a year? I don't even know.
What is that? You got 2 brakes on that. What's the one lever and the other
You
one?
used to be able to take turns.
It's a left and a right wheel. Neither one of them work.
Lock it up.
Not bad. Whoa.
Choke. Pretty good.
Sounds good. Think it is better than that.
There's some noise.
Sounds like the water pump.
Yeah, we just replaced the water pump. Dude,
What?
the fan is looser than a goose. Look at this fan. I thought you tightened that.
Is that what those 2 bolts were for?
No way.
No, it's got all the bolts in it.
Did you get it from the front?
Yeah, we can get it with the hood on it. So I hear excuses going on back there, but 2 people are working on this, and we thought these bolts in this fan blade were tight, but they weren't.
I just tightened up the water pump. I forgot about the bolts on the fan.
I'm just a neighbor. I'm just checking things out.
All right,
We're good?
let's start this up again.
Start her up.
Let's see if it's quieter. Key there. Control. Oh. Whisper quiet. I got this idle all the way down.
It would even be quieter if this exhaust didn't leak.
Maybe we can fix that this way here. Which way is reversing this pig? That way. This way?
Headlights work?
Do they work?
Oh, we got one out, buddy. You got one headlight.
The back one? Oh yeah, look at that. So everything's working good here, but the shaft looked awful small.
On the other side, buddy?
No, the other side's not splined, but this is clearly not the right shit. So it looks like we're making a trip to the tractor store.
So we got a brand new chainsaw, and we're gonna be blazing trails. So we got someplace to ride the four-wheeler and the dirt bike. So we're gonna make the outermost perimeter of the property, and in order to get the tractor in, we're gonna have to chop trees down and tree branches out of the way. So you gotta fill it up with bar oil.
Could have got a still, but the comparable still was like over 3 times the cost of this saw. So if this thing lasts just a couple years, it'll be good enough for safety.
Going half choke.
We were able to get an adapter from Tractor Supply. So we get that tapped on there. Here's that John Deere M. This one is a standard Oakwood shaft. It doesn't have a regular 3-point that I'm familiar with. I don't even know what this is called here. There it is installed. We're going to put effort into doing something with this exhaust.
Then she'll be quiet as a
Right. It'll
kitten.
be really enjoyable to operate if it's not making any noise.
So in our quest to make this thing quiet, I'm gonna just get rid of this little dinger. See any other place? I'm gonna just stick a whole bunch of that copper paste in there.
Maybe run a little sandpaper through here, clean this all up.
All right. It's the cast iron manifold is tapered, and then this is supposed to go up to it, but we gotta twist it a little and tighten up this band clamp that's shaped like the donut, and as we tighten that up, it's supposed to pull it together. So what I got now is I took a scraper, sandpaper, it's black carbon, smoothed that out, and then refitted it so this goes right up to it, and then the band clamp doesn't have to work too hard to get the two together. And then we're gonna put that paste in there, and it should be quiet.
Just filling the rust pits. We're gonna fire her up, see how she sounds, warm it up, and change the oil. Put some oil in this thick oil. Got it all lubed up. I'm going to change the oil. There's a gigantic plug in the bottom of this oil pan. She really comes out of there. Yeah, it was due for a change.
So when you drop the drain plug, this filter, maybe that's around where this pickup is, but there's a screen that's supposed to be.
Look at all the crap.
Yeah, we're gonna blow that all out. Then we'll show you what the other filter is like. Got a little screwdriver? There's usually a spring.
This flips up, I think, to grab onto.
this. That's Plumber's Crack in the northwest of North Woods. On these old tractors, sometimes you didn't even have a filter, and they'd use non-detergent oil, like in a Briggs and Stratton, single-cylinder engine, where the oil's lubricating the parts, but it lets the dirt fall to the bottom, and then doesn't keep the grit in suspension to go through all the moving parts. Well, then if you have cars that have a filter, or an engine that has a filter, you want detergent oil so it keeps the parts flowing in suspension. They go through your filter and then it gets them out of the system. So we've got the filter there, so we would want to use non-detergent oil. But we got oil here that's been sitting around for a while, and I don't know if it's detergent or non-detergent, but we're going to run it. If you're using modern oils in old engines that have flat tapped cams, usually they got this stuff called ZDPP that keeps you from wearing out the cam lobes. But we got this tune-up in a can, it's we got all kinds of stuff here, and hopefully will reduce friction. So the headlight, you can even see it's burned. It'd be nice. He was driving around last night at nighttime, which is one headlight. You could still see him. You wouldn't get killed going down the road. But for better illumination, we're going to see if they can get another light like this. And they're held in with a little spring. You're going to just take them out. There's 2 of them. Oh, 3 of them. Watch them take off. So I got all 3, and this lifts out, and then, well, you can see it's all black. Hopefully we can get a new bulb. We knew the tractor didn't have any brakes, and we just wanted to see if there was parts missing, broken, or whatever. It's a big job to get this big wheel off. It was heavier than heck. And then when we came to look at this, you can see that oil is infiltrating, coming through because the seal must be bad. Slinging oil around in here. The brake drum's got oil, and more work than we got time for today. So we're just gonna spray it down with a bunch of brake cleaner and clean the drum, scuff it up, and then we'll have to order some seals. So I wanted to see how this whole oil bath air cleaner works. Grill here with a mesh that's on the outside. Then this piece connects in there, so the air that has to draw through the oil like a hookah, we talked about that, and then as the air is sucking through this vein or this screen, it's got to go through the oil and collects all the seeds, dust, dirt in the oil, and we're going to change that oil out. It's going to drop on the exhaust. So it's to that height. We'll eat. Oh yeah, a lot of sludge. Crap. It did its job. So this is oil level. Well, they kind of idiot-proof it with these holes. So as I'm filling it, it'll come right to that level. So when you got a tractor, a lot of times things get loose and your wheels are going wah, 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 wah. And this isn't that bad, but it would be good to re-grease the bearing, because who knows the last time this thing was ever greased properly. This end on here is kind of questionable, so we'll put a pin through that onto that drawbar and we'll get this out of here. Every time we want to do a turnaround, we got to worry about hitting this shit.
Oh, like butter.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to yank this out. It's going to be trying to dig into the dirt.
Here's that versatile 150, and got a fork attached for it. Somebody retrofitted the quick attach on it. Had to do some work to that. I think we got to bleed these injectors because we got a leak in our mechanical injection pump. It's hydrostatic drive. I got all the gauges working on it. Here's the throttle. It's got 3-speed trans on it. This, I think, is the 3-point. Here's the drive. You hit this, it just starts moving. Hydrostatic. Forward and back. PTO. And not 100%. But we're going to go and load that brush cutter now. Well, we got a foot control here for this loader. What?
Impression of the brush hog on the back of the Ford 8N, the first gear is still high, so if you got the RPM up and you got the brush hog going, well, you're kind of going fast. It would be nicer if I could go slower speed and let the blades chop up better.
We're going to bust off a couple of shotgun rounds here. I think part of it is, I think the receiver's made in Turkey, but the barrel is made in the USA, so globally sourced. But this thing's really light compared to my shotgun. I got this for $50 a number of years ago. Pump, she jams up every now and then. Who makes that?
This is a Remington.
It's kind of similar to what I have. What's going on there? Flip over once.
Well, this is coating that
You just put tape on it.
tape on it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it didn't come this way. That's why you can't see any names or anything.
Did you buy that brand new?
No, this is my buddy's, and he put this shit on there. So yeah, and if you look down the center of it.
Oh, look at that! It's like illuminated.
Yeah.
What is that? GSG5 22 caliber. So we borrowed this pigeon chucker, and I'll show you what kind of performance we're getting out of it.
Oh!
Once you get this thing, you're in neutral and you get the PTO going, then the blades start going, and there's momentum on the drivetrain, and you got to idle it down and then get the vehicle in gear so that, if there's too much momentum, it wants to just drive the thing into gear and takes off. So you got to get used to that, but everybody got into knocking down the forest, and we cleared a path and shot clay pigeons and 22s, and fun had by all.
This is the before. Tractor was doing sweet, and the brush hog, and then the tractor just died. We think we got some dirt in the carb. We're gonna tow it in with this diesel truck.